All right, I'm going to be showing you how to put on a stage 1 air filter assembly. This is going to be going on my 2008 Road Glide. Probably work for any twin cam, probably relay the same exact way for an M8. They're all very similar. All right, so what you're looking at is a throttle body assembly. This is an upgraded one. Yours may look smaller. It may look stock. It may be plastic. Some of them are made of plastic, I've seen, believe it or not. You want to get down to this portion of your air filter assembly because we're going to reinstall all these components right here. All right, so get down to this part right here. By the way, this is brought to you by Law Tigers. 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, 1.5 billion recovered in assets. They don't get paid unless you get paid. So if you need some advice, maybe you need some help, Law Tigers. They got our back. They're gonna have yours. This is the throttle body assembly. This is what you're gonna want to get down to. There's 3 different components basically to this system right here. This is your backing plate right here. You will see right here that this has 2 bolts right here. And what these bolt onto are the heads of your engine, okay? That backing plate has a gasket that goes on the back of it that seats up right up against your throttle body, okay? You do not want air outside from this. That's an air leak. It doesn't work that way. It's going to work very bad. You need this thing tight because your air needs to be filtered through the air filter. So make sure you have all the correct gaskets and everything that you need for this. Okay. This bolts up to this right here. So let me bolt this up. Side note, and please note, these are breather bolts. The reason they are called breather bolts is they have a hole right there, and they have a hole in the bottom of it as well, right there. These are the bolts that mount the backing plate to your heads. Your heads get built up pressure inside. That pressure has to be released somewhere. That's why these have holes in them. That pressure gets released through these holes right here. When it gets released out of there, on my setup, some are different. You'll see a hole inside of there. That pressure gets blown into there. And through this hole, this channel is made inside of this plate to that hole that you see in there. And that pressure gets blown out this way, just straight into the air filter. Now, sometimes that comes with blow-by. That's not always good. So you may get oil inside of this because oil is also being released with that pressure. So keep an eye on that, okay? But do not just go and put some regular old bolts in there. You need to let this thing breathe. It is part of the way it functions. If you put regular bolts in here, you must have a breathing system. That may be why you've seen tubes that run down and they go down to a filter and dump down in somewhere. That is what this is. Mine dumps back into here. To be honest, not probably the best setup. I'd prefer it not go back into the engine, but I just have not got around to it. Do not cap these things off. Do not just go and buy some bolts and cap these off. There is a reason and a method for them. Okay, now that that's bolted up, the next piece that's going to go, or the next 3 pieces that are going to go up, are these. I would call these specialty nuts, specialty bolts. The threads go right inside of here, and that threads into your throttle body. But the other end of them has a female thread, and that's what these 3 bolts and nuts connect to hold your air filter on. You'll see it all come together right now. But the next pieces you'll put on will be these 3 right here, and then we'll put the air filter assembly. Okay, so there's those 3 hand tight. Now, side note, do not go and tighten all this stuff down just yet. These never got tightened. And these I just put in hand loose. You want to make sure, give yourself some room. You see that plate has some wiggle room inside of it so that you can get all the holes to line up. If you tighten these holes might not line up. So just leave everything loose. And then once you get to this point, now you can go ahead and tighten these as well because you've got everything in the place it needs to land in. Now that everything is tight and secure, backing plates on, everything is mounted down. Now These have the female threads inside of them. And so you're going to take your air filter assembly and you're going to line it up just like that. And you're going to use 3 screws to place it in. There you go. And that is the air filter assembly. From here, there's a lot of different options that you can get for covers. I had this one made for myself many, many years ago. I've had it on several different bikes. All it really is just a couple of plates water jetted. One is a solid one in the back, and then the other one is water jetted out in the state of California, because that's where I'm from. So, and all it does has one bolt in the middle. Most of them have a little mounting tab right here. So most of these covers, you know, I've seen people put just CDs on there, you know, like your favorite CD back in the day. Put that there. You can make something. You can just leave it like this. There's other covers that they make that are more maybe contrast cut, whatever it may be. But this filter, better filtering, also a little bit better breathing than what the stock assembly will give you. And there is a stage 1 air filter assembly installed.